Hi, chess world. Um, the new year is coming soon, right? And to top all of it off, let's do the last lesson of this year of how pieces move. It's a beginner. It's a really beginner chess lesson. Let's just say that. But oh wait, I'm an idiot. Oopsies. Okay, so you might. There's a lot of confusing pieces, right? Like king, queen, pawn, the most complex one, bishop, knight, complex piece to the knight. All of them are, and it's hard to remember, right? So that's why I made this video, so you would remember, and the tips on how to remember them. Let's start with the pawn, maybe. So pawn is an interesting piece. Um, it usually moves to one square. What if it hasn't moved in the game, and it's first time you're moving this pawn? It's the first time you're moving this pawn. That means it can go two squares, as you can see here. But after that, you can't. Or for the people who think that, oh, I'm going to save my first move so I could later go here. Doesn't work like that. Only on the first move. But so yeah. But it's and I'm suggesting you. I'm just suggesting for you to move your pawn two squares forward every time when you can. Like e4, d4, and maybe even g4 with the drop. Because most of the times it is better than moving just one square. Plus you're getting closer to the to the end of the board with this way, and not wasting two times just in one move. It's good to do it. They don't eat, by the way, they don't eat like this. They eat like the diagonals. But if there is nothing in the empty spaces, it can't go like this. Only when there is an enemy, it can eat like this. It can't eat, by the way. It can't eat, by the way, like this or this. It can't do that. Only forward. They are not looking back. In most of the times. But I'm about to get to it. And it's pretty hard to move a pawn. To the end of the board. But if you can, it can become a queen, a bishop, a knight, and a rook. It can become these four pieces, except for the pawn, because pawn can't become pawn again if you promoted it. And you can't make a king, because that would be really confusing. So yeah. Most of the times it is better for you to get a queen, but there are some cases where it's better for you to get a knight maybe, or a bishop. But that's a whole other lesson, right? So there's also a special rule, which is called an en passant. For example, sorry, oopsie. So, if your pawn is here, right, and your opponent moves like this, two squares up, because his pawn didn't move in the whole game, you can actually capture it. This. It is called an en passant. Because I mean, there has to be a catch, right? I mean, of this special rule. There's to be a catch. That's why there is this catch. It is hard to remember for beginners. And by the way, remember, en passant is not forced actually. I might get burned on fire because of this statement. But yeah, en passant is not forced. It is optional. But you can easily go here maybe, for example, with the pawn, or move any other piece that you have on the board. So yeah. And if you are ignoring it, yeah, for example, there's a bishop, for example, and you just, for example, moved it here, thinking that you will later en passant it. It doesn't work this way. On the first move when your opponent made this, the first chance you get, you only have one chance of getting it. You either want to do it or you will do it in the first time. That's it. We talked about the pawn. Yeah, it's a pretty long one. Did you get it? If you didn't, you can rewatch the video or ask me in the comments. Don't be afraid of me. So let's get to the knight now. The knight is a complex piece too, but it is really easy to remember. So knight moves in the L shapes, right? Like we draw the L that has 4 squares in it. Boom. And yeah, and the knight can go there. If that's an L and it is 4 squares in there, boom, you can easily do it. Like, boom, right? But they're tricky to remember, so it's okay if you won't get it from your first try. And how I actually was taught by the principles. For example, the knight moves 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, wait, 1, 2, 3, like this, right? 1, 2, 3. I was taught like this, and the knight also can go here. Like I was taught like this, but for some reason most of the people are teaching people like with the L, but I was taught like that. But it's up to you how you will learn it. Let's get to the bishop. The bishop is really easy to remember, just like the rest of the pieces. It moves in this X. That's all, but the diagonals. And remember, the light square. There are two kinds of bishops in the game: the light squared and the dark squared. Meaning that the white squares, and it can only see white squares, but it can't see the black. It can't see the black ones. So if the enemy is going to be here, there is no way. I mean, no matter how much you move this bishop, it will never eat this pawn, as long as it's on the dark square. But if you have a dark square bishop, that means you can actually eat it, like this. Let's get to the queen now. The queen is an easy piece too. But actually before that, let's go to the rook, because it will be really important for you to learn. Because like you should learn about the rook first, so you would a little bit understand what I'm about to say about the queen. Let's get to the rook. The rook goes by the plus, like this. Here, or here, or here, as much as it wants. In one move it can go here, in one move it could go here, in one move it could go here, in any move, like, In one move, it can go to any of these squares. It goes by the plus, as I said before. Same thing like the bishop does with the x, with the x. So yeah. And now we have the queen. It contains the power of the rook, that goes by the plus, and with the bishop, that goes with the x. So, as you can understand by now, it can go like this. Oh, and this. So yeah, she can pretty much go anywhere. It has the power of these two pieces, except of the piece of the power of the knight. It can't go like the knight. Remember that. And that's one of the most powerful pieces. Now we have the lazy old king. He's pretty much like the queen, but he can only go to the squares that he touches physically. Like he can't go like this, for example. He can only go like this. Only that he touches. He has some weight problems. He can't run like his wife. So yeah, he can only go, in one move he can only go one square at a time, and that's why he's the weakest. And the oh damn, somebody's calling me. Sorry. Что, Алихан? Ты меня сейчас убьешь, да? Извини за то, что я не пошел. Извини за то, что я не пошел. Я тоже хотела, Алихан, пойти, но я не смог, извини. Извини, Алихан, я не смог пойти.
Из-за кого?
Да не из-за кого, просто. Проблемы случились, долгая история, потом объясню. Я сейчас занят. Я тебе потом расскажу, окей? Алихан. Окей. Просто я тебе потом расскажу, потом поговорим. Я сейчас очень сильно занят, окей? Давай, не грусти. Тебя тоже с Новым годом. Не грусти.
Посмотри, что я тебе написал, и посмотри видео.
Окей. Пока. So, what was I talking about? Oh, right. So yeah, he has pretty much weight problems. And yeah, bye chess world.